Let's move on to the next presentation.
So the last presentation will be on LG Electronics regulatory compliance activities for resource efficiency. The presenter here is Jinhyung from LG Electronics.
네, 안녕하세요.
Ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I am Jinhyung. I am principal researcher of LG Electronics. Thank you very much for inviting me to today's forum. So we are joined by some foreign guests, but we have a simultaneous translation. So I'm going to speak in Korean. So I'm gonna talk to you about the LG Electronics regulatory compliance activities regarding resource efficiency. Here is the table of content of my presentation. I'd like to talk about what is the goal and what is the performance achievements. And some have things to do with regulations, some have nothing to do with regulations in our efforts. And as mentioned by other speakers already, I'd like to talk to you about the trends of the regulation regarding resource efficiency. And also, I'd like to talk about Ecodesign and Friends Repairability and Durability Index. And then I'd like to talk about what kind of response LG is working on right now. And also I'd like to talk to you about participation activities and international standardization. So our ESG strategy is 3C and 3D. 3C is regarding the planet environment. So 3C represents carbon neutrality, circularity, and clean technology like using renewable energy. So circularity is regarding recycling of waste, and clean technology is like developing products and services considering the environment. And 3D is related to people and supply chains and employment, women and people with disabilities, and also it represents accessibility. So we are currently working on 3C and 3D. And regarding circularity, 3C is directly associated with circularity. Briefly, so we aim to achieve carbon neutrality by 2030. So we have reduced 53,000 tons on YOY. And also we have a plan to use renewable energy 100%. And 10.1% will be actually renewable energy. And today's topic is circularity. And 95% of waste recycling by 2030, and also e-waste collection. As we have annual goal of e-waste collection, and when it comes to clean technology, so we like to reduce carbon emissions by developing highly efficient products, and also we're gonna use recycled plastics materials in manufacturing our products. So regarding e-waste, so the entire process of e-waste are being managed directly by ourselves, and then we are reinforcing waste disposal and management. So we are setting the aims and monitoring of the vendors in order to achieve our goal. Especially some foreign subsidiaries are not meeting our goals, so that we have very close monitoring of overseas subsidiaries. So overall, e-waste volume is being reduced. And the overall ratio is gradually on the rise. Next is on the e-waste collection. We established CRC, or Chilsea Recycling Center, back in 2001. So we are providing e-waste collection services in 56 countries right now. So this is directly associated with regulation. So in highly regulated areas, our performances are better. And in 2023, 450,000, and our goal is 800,000 by 2030. And that was mentioned by Mr. Already. That is regarding product structure and material improvement. We are working on this initiative in order to maximize resource efficiency. So we are improving product structure and material at the product design phase. This is the case of 50-inch television. So weight was reduced by 19% compared to the baseline. Product volume was reduced by 7%, and the weight of packaging material was reduced by 3%. And with the structural improvement, the fastening parts were reduced by 21% from 33 to 26. So I like to speed up. And also when it comes to post-consumer recycled plastics use, and then our goal is to have a cumulative 600,000 tons by 2030. And these days, microplastics is a global concern. So we really care about the packaging materials. So we are trying to replace plastics with other alternative materials. So plastics are the mostly used, especially styrofoam. So they will be replaced with paper, cushioning, and mold. They have already been reflected in small size items, but we are currently developing our technologies in order to apply these to bigger size products. That all of them are the efforts we are making at LG. So I'm going to be very brief because we are running out of time. So as part of regulatory trends, so I'm going to talk about ESPR and the Friends Repairability and Durability Index. So there have been detailed explanation on ESPR already, and product scope is broader, and there are more evaluation items. And also there are the horizontal requirements. So the same criteria will be applied to similar products, and also digital passport, DPP. So the quantitative data disclosure and transparency is becoming more important in terms of DPP. And there are 18 key product aspects regarding ESPR, out of which 13 items are related to resource efficiency. So overall direction is going toward resource efficiency. In fact, from 2021, actually the Ecodesign regulation in the EU has been newly implemented. So previously it was focused on only energy efficiency, performance, and energy label, but now there is more emphasis on resource efficiency, reliability, recyclability, and repairability. When it comes to Friends repairability, durability, which was enforced in 2021. Initially, repairability was the focus of this French regulation. However, starting from this year, especially in the case of television and washing machines, it has been upgraded with the emphasis on durability for these two product categories. So the focus has been shifted from repairability toward durability. That is evolving. So the materials, The components, life, information disclosure, and testing are part of the requirements, and also it includes upgrade and software update, which are also requirements. So product durability is the focus of this index. And again, this index is evolving. I have been briefly talking about the regulatory trends, and from now on, how we are responding to these regulations at LG Electronics. This is Ecodesign's resource efficiency requirement and our response at LG. First of all, for all the countries with Ecodesign requirements, we have websites in those countries, and within our website, we have a separate page titled Right to Repair. So this page, stakeholders, including consumers, can identify all the relevant information regarding right to repair product. For example, the model and product category can be selected, and then you can find a list of service parts, and then description of service parts is also available. And then there is also information regarding how to order service part. Basically, so like there is service call center operating in each country. So people may contact call center, and then they can explain what are the symptoms, and then they can get the explanation how to order the spare part. So service part will be identified by model, and then those parts can be purchased by making inquiries into the service center. And apart from that, there are online shops where accessories are being sold. And also, third-party sellers are linked to this website by country. So people can find all the relevant information at this homepage. And next is regarding repair information. So that is redirected to troubleshooting page. So symptoms and product categories can be selected here on this page. So general failures and how to respond can be identified here on this page. And LG EU has been operating YouTube channel from 2011. So if you go to this YouTube channel, there are more than 300 videos regarding product repair. For example, how to separate washing machine's detergent box, or making replacement and troubleshooting of a TV monitor, or how to disassemble product, how to replace critical components. All the relevant information is available on this page. And lastly, with regard to Ecodesign, so this is kind of challenging the requirement for us, providing information to local professional repairers and qualifying them. So we are using this page, Right to Repair. So the local professional repairers can submit their credentials, documents, so that the people in the local subsidiaries will evaluate their eligibility. And once eligibility is proven, they are granted the right to get access to LG Electronics service portal, so that they can get access to service manual and bulletins and other information. And also they can place an order on service part. So all of these functions are already available. Next, I'd like to talk about France repairability and durability index and what kind of activities currently we are performing. Actually, this is directly related to product development and evaluation. So this information is confidential. So I can only say what kind of evaluation process we are applying. So this is for the France durability index on the measurement. So we are applying 1 through 6 for product development. And the last one, the remaining one, is evaluated right before sales. And then we finalize the report. So out of these items, what is most important is resistance, number 1, and disassembly. So these are the main items during development process, resistance and disassembly. So that is directly associated with the life of part and the relevant testing. So we conduct testing by module to identify resistance, and the same is true for disassembly. So we have designated service parts that need to be disassembled by product category. So how many steps are required for disassembly of a part? And what kind of fastening components required during disassembly? That's why we are testing these during development process. And availability of a spare part, documentation, and guarantee. These are related to our company policy. So we are relying on policy evaluation in order to finalize this report. So these are the items we are evaluating during the development process, and we are utilizing our internal system, and then we submit the final report to the French authority. And as for the spare part, our process is making assessment of a spare part internally. So that's why we have a dual structure of assessment, and then the report is finalized, and they are being distributed to our stakeholders. Lastly, we are involved in standardization activities. So there is a quantitative assessment regarding eco-design, which is becoming more important. So we are putting more weight on standardization activities as well. For example, there are working groups regarding LCA and carbon emissions and e-waste and recyclability. These are the working groups we are involved in. And then we are also engaged with resource efficiency E and FIFO. And the hot topic is digital product passport DPP. The working group is currently being formed, so we are closely watching what is going on with this working group. To conclude my presentation, I am responding to these regulations and I am monitoring the regulatory trends very closely, and these are the implications. So these eco-design regulations are being evolving in terms of recyclability, digital product passport, and transparency. So from the perspective of enterprises, data management is becoming more important. Previous eco-design regulations, we just needed only two departments coordinating together. But now it is being expanded to resource efficiency, so we need to involve all the other departments, even including sales, procurement. So we need a collaboration across the entire enterprise. So I think that department level collaboration and coordination is very important. That is why the role of compliance department is also very critical. Right now, these are the European regulations, and only it is Ecodesign regulations are affecting the other countries that are adopting Ecodesign. But we think that that will be adopted globally, just like recycling regulations. So, from the perspective of the company, there are regulations globally, but if evaluation mechanism is different, that will be burden on private companies. So I think that international standardization is very important. So I think that we need to pay more attention to international standardization. Thank you very much for listening. That's all. Thank you, Mr. O, for your presentation. There are various activities domestically going on at LG Electronics, and many people would be interested in France repairability index and the policy. And the case of LG Electronics was well explained in response to France index. So he talked about what kind of activities they are doing, and especially in response to eco-design, especially from the perspective of LG Electronics. I like to say, what is the biggest challenge? What is the main concern in terms of eco-design regulations? And we have new government these days. In order to respond to eco-design regulations, do you have any idea? Do we need to have any policy change at the government level? So I'd like to hear from you from the perspective of business.